All right, Dodgers fans, buckle up because we have a lot to unpack after what went down in Arizona. The Los Angeles Dodgers walked away with a dramatic 5-4 win over the Diamondbacks in 11 innings, and it was the kind of game that perfectly summed up this team's season. Gritty, dramatic, and filled with unexpected twists. Roki Sasaki, who hadn't pitched since May, came back and made his debut out of the bullpen. For someone who has been groomed as a starter his whole career, this was a massive change, but the kid handled it like he'd been doing it forever. In fact, he came in and struck out 2 hitters in a high-pressure spot, showing poise and electricity that the Dodgers desperately needed. Meanwhile, Kershaw made yet another rare bullpen appearance, just the 4th of his regular season career, and seeing him come out of the pen always feels surreal given everything he's accomplished as a starter. That one pushed the Dodgers to 89 victories against 69 losses and dropped their magic number to just 1 for clinching the National League West. That means one more Dodgers win or a Padres loss, and the division is theirs. After everything this team has been through this season, injuries, lineup shuffling, bullpen question marks, it feels like a huge step toward another postseason run. And while the team celebrated in Arizona, there was still plenty of concern hovering around them. The biggest storyline outside of the win was the health of key players. An all-star reliever was placed on the injured list just before the game, a tough blow for a bullpen that's already been walking a thin line. That move set the stage for Sasaki's activation, and it looks like he might be forced into a bigger role down the stretch. He's just getting his feet wet, but the Dodgers may not have a choice. They need him, and if his debut is any indication, he might just thrive under the pressure. But the bigger cloud hanging over this team involves Will Smith. The Dodgers gave an update on their all-star catcher, and it was not what anyone wanted to hear. Smith is still dealing with a hairline fracture in his hand, and with the postseason less than a week away, the timing could not be worse. A catcher with an injury to his hand is basically facing one of the toughest situations in all of baseball, and his availability is now a huge question mark. Losing his bat and his leadership behind the plate would be a brutal blow for this lineup, and fans are understandably nervous. To add another layer of intrigue, Brian Cashman of the New York Yankees dropped a bombshell when he revealed that at one point, the Yankees tried to trade for Kershaw. Imagine that for a second. Kershaw in pinstripes? The idea alone feels almost impossible to picture. Kershaw has been the face of the Dodgers for over a decade, a 3-time Cy Young winner, a World Series champion, and the heart of this franchise. The thought of him wearing any other uniform, let alone the Yankees, feels like a baseball alternate reality that nobody ever really wants to see. Still, the fact that Cashman even pursued it tells you how highly Kershaw has been valued around the league, even late in his career. While that revelation sparked plenty of conversation, the Dodgers were also dealing with the ongoing saga of Brock Stewart. He was supposed to be their big bullpen addition at the trade deadline, not through a trade, but simply by getting him healthy again. The front office believed that injured arms returning would be enough to cover the bullpen instead of spending top prospects on new arms. But here we are, with Stewart still sidelined on the 15-day injured list due to right shoulder trouble. He was expected to be back for the series against Arizona, but his shoulder continues to give him problems, and now there's real doubt about whether he'll pitch again this season. Dave Roberts addressed the situation, saying Stewart is day-to-day after playing catch in the outfield and later throwing a bullpen session. Roberts admitted there's still soreness, but the right-hander remains pitchable. That sounds optimistic on the surface, but it's clear they're being cautious. Stewart wants to be part of this run, and he's pushing to get back, but the Dodgers also can't afford to put him in if he's not completely ready. They need reliability in October, not another setback. He has already gone through multiple cortisone injections to get his shoulder to cooperate, and while there's some progress, it's not the clear-cut return they hoped for. That's where Roki Sasaki comes back into the picture. Stewart's absence could very well open the door for Sasaki to carve out a meaningful role out of the bullpen. The rookie missed more than 4 months with his own shoulder injury, but he has embraced this new assignment with maturity beyond his years. No longer slotted into the rotation, Sasaki is now focused on helping this team any way he can, even if that means throwing one clutch inning at a time. If he keeps showing the composure we saw in his return, the Dodgers might have stumbled into a new weapon just when they needed it most. It is wild to think how this season has unfolded for Los Angeles. At one point, the rotation was in shambles, guys were dropping left and right, and the bullpen looked like a constant gamble. Now, as the postseason looms, the Dodgers have pieced together enough to fight their way to the brink of another division title. The mix of veterans like Kershaw adjusting into different roles and rookies like Sasaki stepping up into unexpected spots shows just how unpredictable this year has been. And let's not forget Michael Conforto, who quietly added his 12th home run of the season with a solo shot. That swing was huge in keeping the Dodgers in position to steal the game late, and contributions like that have been the difference all year long. This team has lived off timely hits, gritty performances, and players stepping up when their number is called. It hasn't always been pretty, but it has been effective. When you look at the Dodgers right now, everything feels like a balancing act between excitement and anxiety. On one hand, they are right on the edge of clinching the division, something that seemed in jeopardy earlier in the season when injuries piled up and their bullpen looked unstable. On the other, the health issues surrounding some of their most important pieces make every update from the clubhouse feel like a headline. That mix of relief and worry has defined this stretch run. Fans are celebrating wins like the one in Arizona, but they are also checking their phones constantly for any news about Will Smith, Brock Stewart, or anyone else fighting to get healthy in time for October. The Dodgers' strategy at the trade deadline still sparks plenty of debate, and nights like these magnify the gamble the front office took. Instead of pulling the trigger on a major trade and parting with top prospects, the decision was to trust the depth already in the organization and bet on injured relievers returning to form. The idea looked fine on paper. Why trade away the future if you believe you could get similar production from guys you already have? But as the regular season winds down, the question lingers. Did they bet too much on health? Brock Stewart's shoulder issues are the perfect example. He was expected to be a key late-inning option, yet he has spent weeks trying to get over the lingering inflammation, and every day that passes without his return cuts into the time to ramp up for the postseason. Meanwhile, Roki Sasaki has become a fascinating subplot in all of this. A pitcher once projected as a potential frontline starter is now carving out a different identity, at least temporarily, as a bullpen weapon. His return from shoulder impingement was long and frustrating, but in his first game back, he looked ready for the moment. The fact that he came into a tight situation and struck out 2 batters shows the kind of nerves and talent he has. You can feel the excitement building every time he takes the mound, not only because of his potential, but because this team desperately needs someone to stabilize the late innings. There's something about watching a rookie take on that challenge with no fear that energizes the entire clubhouse. It also brings to mind how the Dodgers have thrived in recent years by developing players who can adjust to whatever role the team needs. Kershaw coming out of the bullpen, Sasaki embracing relief duty, hitters like Conforto stepping up in clutch situations. This flexibility has kept them alive through all the chaos. Still, October is a different animal, and everyone knows that. It's not just about patching things together anymore. It's about whether those patches can withstand the brightest lights and toughest opponents in baseball. And that's where the looming absence of Will Smith could really sting. The Dodgers have some depth at catcher, but none of them bring the same combination of defensive skill, offensive production, and leadership that Smith does. He is the kind of player you almost take for granted until he's not there. A fractured hand might sound minor compared to a blown-out knee or torn ligament, but for a catcher, it can completely change the way he plays. Every pitch caught, every swing taken, every throw made put stress on that hand. The timing could not be worse, and the uncertainty around his availability is the biggest question hovering over this team right now. Fans know how much he means, and you can feel that nervous energy building as the postseason approaches. While Smith's situation is causing plenty of sleepless nights, the conversation about Kershaw's place in Dodgers history took on a new twist thanks to Brian Cashman's revelation. The thought of the Yankees trying to acquire him at some point in his career is both fascinating and unsettling. On one side, it shows just how highly regarded Kershaw has been, even outside of Los Angeles. On the other, it highlights how close baseball history could have come to looking very different. Imagine the Dodgers going through the last decade without Kershaw leading the way. Imagine the Yankees with him at the top of their rotation, pairing him with their powerhouse lineups. It almost doesn't feel real to think about because Kershaw and the Dodgers are so intertwined. He is not just another star player. He is the identity of this franchise. Thinking about him in pinstripes feels like imagining Vin Scully calling games for another team. It just doesn't compute. That revelation also serves as a reminder of how rare Kershaw's career has been. In a modern era where stars move around constantly, where loyalty and long-term careers with one franchise are nearly extinct, Kershaw has been the exception. He has endured the ups and downs, the postseason heartbreaks, the injuries, the scrutiny, and he has still remained tied to Los Angeles through it all. Whether he was being celebrated as the best pitcher on the planet or questioned after another tough October outing, he never put on another uniform. And the fact that the Yankees, of all teams, once dreamed of stealing him away makes it clear just how significant it is that he never left. But while those what-ifs make for interesting debate, the Dodgers cannot afford to dwell on hypotheticals right now. Their focus is squarely on the immediate future, and that future is filled with both promise and peril. The promise lies in the fact that they are on the cusp of another division crown, with the potential to line things up for October. The peril comes from the unknowns. Will Smith be healthy enough to play? Will Stewart return in time? And will this bullpen hold up when the stakes rise? These are questions that no regular season win, no matter how thrilling, can fully answer. What makes this moment even more compelling is the mix of veterans and young talent trying to push the team over the finish line. You have a veteran like Kershaw making rare bullpen cameos, knowing his career is closer to the end than the beginning. And then you have Sasaki stepping into the spotlight, showing flashes of being the future. You have Conforto delivering with timely power, and you have Roberts trying to juggle lineups and pitching changes with half his bullpen in flux. It's the kind of storyline that reminds you why baseball is as much about drama as it is about numbers. Every pitch feels like it could shift the narrative. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Rumors are swirling in the sports world after Joe Buck, the iconic voice of Major League Baseball, reportedly made some critical remarks about the Los Angeles Dodgers. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the broadcaster claim Buck expressed frustration with the team's recent performance, sparking immediate chatter among fans and analysts alike. Known for his candid commentary, Buck has never been one to shy away from expressing his opinions, but criticism of a franchise as storied as the Dodgers is sure to ignite controversy. According to insiders, Buck's remarks were made during a private conversation that somehow leaked online, igniting a social media firestorm. Fans of the Dodgers immediately took to Twitter, some defending the team fiercely, while others wondered whether Buck might be hinting at larger issues within the organization. The timing is particularly sensitive, as the Dodgers are navigating a season full of high expectations and intense scrutiny. Any perceived slight from a broadcaster of Buck's stature carries significant weight. Analysts are already speculating on what Buck's comments could mean for the future. Some suggest this could indicate underlying tensions between media figures and the team's management, while others argue it's simply a case of a seasoned broadcaster expressing his frustration with a team that hasn't lived up to its billing. Meanwhile, rival teams' fans are quietly relishing the potential drama, with some even suggesting that Buck's critique could become a rallying cry for other franchises looking to outperform the Dodgers. Dodgers insiders have remained tight-lipped, though rumors suggest they are aware of Buck's comments and are watching reactions closely. Whether this will escalate into a public feud or fade as a fleeting headline remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: when Joe Buck speaks, the sports world listens. For now, the Dodgers are facing the dual challenge of proving themselves on the field and managing the noise off it. and added pressure that could make the rest of the season even more intriguing. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.